Just now in studio. So, Erwin, the first time Duduzane Zuma actually speaking on the stand, what's he saying?
He's spoken about the events of 1 February 2014 and what he recalls of the moments preceding the actual collision in Sandton. Around 10 o'clock in the evening, it was rainy, he says, there was poor visibility, and he actually just lost control of the vehicle after he thinks it hit a puddle. Not a puzzle. The case is a bit of a puzzle. But he says his car hit a puddle, it spun, and he didn't even realize it had collided with a taxi until later.
So some tense moments, of course, between the BLF and AfriForum, always the outside court. What happened?
Yes, we've seen quite a tapered down presence of BLF supporters at proceedings. Today we had very few BLF members, some senior brass in the party, but not those throngs we've seen before demonstrating outside the court. But two members of the BLF, including their deputy president, in some kind of altercation with AfriForum's Kali Kriel. At that point, the state prosecutor intervened. This was between two rows of benches in Court 13 at the Randburg Magistrates Court, and said, time out, this is a court, and tried to sort of quash the tensions that were growing there. And all of this while the Phumzile Dube family were just some people away, the family of the woman who died in that fatal car crash on the scene on the 1st of February 2014.
And of course, amid the drama, the case continued, and it was of course brought up his Porsche 911 Turbo. What did the state prosecutor ask him about this?
Interestingly, there we saw the state prosecutor ask about when he'd had the car serviced, if he ensured that lights, for example, and the tread on the tyres of this sports car were up to standard, and that he kept good checks on the vehicle. Also some questions around the speed at which he travelled. Duduzane Zuma saying that he was travelling from Fourways back towards Saxonwold, where his house is, and that he was travelling at the speed limit because he's a responsible driver, and that he thinks he may have gone down from about 120 kilometers an hour to an estimated 90 or 100 kilometers per hour by the time the collision occurred. But what's interesting, Shahan, just about that model of Porsche 911 Turbo is that as of January this year, there have been some sort of alterations to the car in terms of its ability to navigate wet conditions. And Duduzane Zuma's counsel has cited that change as grounds why this is a bizarre accident, and that he's only done what any reasonable driver would have in the circumstances.
Yeah, case continues tomorrow. What happens then?
He will undergo cross-examination continued by the state prosecutor. His counsel has concluded his evidence, and we understand that there are some more witnesses, but things should be wrapping up relatively soon. And although we couldn't air the actual testimony of Duduzane Zuma, I do understand we have permission to air the closing arguments, which will wrap up both sides of the case.
All right, thanks so much for that. Appreciate it.